There is something far more dangerous than war, more dangerous than invasion, more dangerous than economic collapse. It's comfort. Because history shows something terrifying. Empires don't always fall when they're weak. They often fall when life becomes too easy, when no one is hungry, when no one is scared, when no one feels urgency anymore. That's when the collapse begins, not with explosions, but with silence. And the most unsettling part: people living inside collapsing empires almost never realize it's happening. They call it progress, they call it freedom, they call it finally making it. History calls it the comfort trap. Section 1. The illusion of safety. Every empire reaches a moment when survival is no longer the main concern. Food is abundant, technology solves problems instantly, convenience replaces effort, life becomes smooth. At first, this feels like success, and in many ways it is, but comfort changes people. When survival pressure disappears, discipline fades. When struggle disappears, gratitude fades. When everything is easy, meaning fades. The empire doesn't notice this shift because nothing is visibly wrong. The streets are quiet, the shelves are full, entertainment is endless, but beneath the surface, something critical is dying: the ability to endure hardship. Section 2. Comfort. REWIRES. The human brain. Comfort doesn't just change behavior, it changes biology. When humans don't struggle, the brain stops preparing for struggle. Resilience weakens, attention spans shrink, pain tolerance drops, minor inconveniences feel unbearable. People become more sensitive, more reactive, more fragile, not physically, psychologically. And empires are not built on comfort, they're built on resilient minds. Once those minds disappear, the empire still looks powerful, but it's hollow. Section 3. The death of sacrifice. Strong civilizations are built by people who sacrifice comfort for purpose. Long hours, delayed pleasure, discipline over desire. But comfort reverses this equation. Why sacrifice when everything is already available? Why endure pain when escape is everywhere? Why work for meaning when entertainment is cheaper? Slowly, values change. Hard work becomes unnecessary. Discipline becomes oppressive. Responsibility becomes someone else's problem. The empire doesn't collapse here, it softens. Section 4. From producers to consumers. Every empire begins with producers, builders, farmers, inventors, risk-takers. Comfort turns producers into consumers. More people watch than create. More people demand than contribute. More people complain than build. Consumption feels harmless. But when consumption becomes identity, something breaks. An empire that consumes more than it produces cannot sustain itself. Not because it lacks resources, but because it lacks purpose. Section 5. Why no one stops it. Here's the problem. Comfort feels good, and anything that feels good is hard to question. Anyone who warns about decline is labeled negative. Anyone who talks about discipline is called outdated. Anyone who suggests limits is seen as a threat. So warnings are ignored, not because they're wrong, but because they're uncomfortable. Empires don't reject truth, they delay it until it's too late. Section 6. The final stage. Fragile people in strong systems. This is the most dangerous phase. The systems still work. The technology still functions. The military still exists. But the people no longer match the system's strength. They panic faster. They divide easier. They demand protection instead of responsibility. Strong systems can carry weak people, but only for a while. Eventually, the system collapses under the weight of dependency, not from attack, from overuse. Section 7. History's silent collapses. Many empires didn't fall in flames. They faded. Rome didn't collapse overnight. Neither did Britain. Neither did others history barely remembers. They decayed while people lived normal lives, markets open, games played, politics argued, until suddenly everything felt unstable. And everyone asked the same question: how did this happen so fast? It didn't. It happened slowly. Comfort made sure of that. Section 8. Why this matters today. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Comfort isn't evil, but worshiping it is. The question every empire must answer is simple. Will comfort be the reward for strength or the replacement for it? History shows only one answer leads to survival. Ending quiet warning: empires don't fall when people are scared. They fall when people are comfortable enough to stop caring. And the most dangerous moment in history is when everything feels fine. Because that's when no one is watching the cracks.